Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Aries, let's go ahead and take a little peek at the person on Aries' mind, whoever that may be. Ooh, we have a 4 of swords in the reverse, a 6 of wands in the reverse, a 9 of swords upright, and the moon. Holy smokes. Okay, so they're going through a difficult time. They're not feeling very good about themselves. They're not feeling very good about things going on. This feels like they're pretty isolated. It feels like they're pretty stressed out. It feels like they don't know what to do about it. Hang on. What does that mean? Like, let me ask, how do they look at Aries, or, how does this connect to Aries? We've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse. This feels like they are either thinking that there's no way that they can reach out to Aries anytime soon, but with the 3 of Coins upright, they sure would like to. It's almost like they're saying, the thing I should do is reach out to Aries. The thing that I can't. Are they hanging their head in the shame? Are they like not wanting to reach out to Aries for a particular reason? Queen of Swords sideways, 4 of Wands upright, and the 7 of Wands upright. Hang on, before I say anything, let me get some more clarity, because there's 2 different things I'm thinking of right now. Oh boy. Page of Coins, 10 of Coins. Either this is Aries told me that this is not going to work, and now sure enough, it isn't. I went ahead and I went this route in my life, and I'm really struggling right now, but I acted like this is what I wanted, and so therefore, like, let me put it in this context. This could be somebody that, like, say Aries is this person's friend, and Aries was like, I would not marry that person. And they're like, no, we're so happy. It's so perfect. It's so great. It's so perfect. And then it's like, oh God, it's not perfect. It's not great. But I touted how it was going to be awesome, and shut up, Aries. I don't need to hear from you. And now it's like, oh my God, I want to reach out to Aries. They saw something that I didn't. I need to reach out. I could use the support right now, but I'm too embarrassed to do so, to come in humbly and say, can I move back home, or something like that. This could be like an adult who doesn't want to tell Aries, you were right about this wasn't my happy ever after. You called it, you warned me. It could be that, but it could also be somebody who literally went in a different direction, to the point of, like, they either married the wrong person, and this is somebody from Aries past. We've got the Star, definitely far away. We got the 10 of Swords. We got the 5 of Cups. Okay, at minimum, I'm going to put it this way. This is somebody from Aries past for sure. And it's somebody that Aries either had good advice for, or they either blew it with Aries, they walked away from Aries, they thought they could move on. And that has been an epic disaster, especially if this is like an ex that, look, lots of relationships don't work out, and we tell ourselves that we move on. And sometimes that's true. And then other times we're lying to ourselves. Sometimes we get into another relationship too fast. Sometimes we think, oh, this is going to be great, only to discover after we're in another connection that we made the biggest mistake of our lives. And the person that we broke things off with, that's actually the person that was really good to us. That's somebody who told us stuff that we weren't ready to hear, but they were actually good to us, and I almost feel like that's more what the story is. This could be someone that Aries once upon a time was with. This would be an ex of Aries. This person, they ended things with Aries, or, mutually, Aries and this individual parted ways. Maybe Aries has even recently seen this person with their new boo. And we'll ask in a second, but I would wager to bet Aries will probably be able to tell if something's not going too well. Moon Pony, so great to see you, babe. Is it a pizza lunchtime? He's so adorable. This looks so, Aries is far away from them at this point, and it's over with Aries. And right now, they would give anything to be back in Aries' loving arms. This is that very, whatever, centuries old story of, I had you, we broke up, I went to somebody new thinking they were, the bee's knees. I sound like my second grade teacher right now. That's like such a outdated. There must be an age that you get to. My second grade teacher was probably 45, and that must be a thing that 45-year-olds say. But yeah, they thought at the time that this new person they were with was going to be amazing. Turns out it is anything but. Turns out they could be with somebody who's very possibly cutting, very mean, very rude. Some of the things that their new partner says to them might actually have some merit, some truth. They might, though, not handle it in the nicest of ways. This character, they could be a Pisces, by the way, doesn't have to be. But this person who moved on from Aries, who possibly ended up with a somewhat karmic relationship with a Queen of Swords, they are having a completely miserable time while still trying to plaster on a happy face. And what they wish is that they could not only run back to Aries, but they wish that they could talk to Aries again. They wish, honestly, like Aries represents home for them, right? If they could come in humbly and be back home with Aries, that's where they wish that they were. We have a Four of Pentacles. It is sideways. We have the Hierophant. God, this is a beautiful card, by the way. This is still a newer deck to me. I've only had it since last, Thursday, Friday. So not all these cards have actually even popped out when I've been using the deck. So, but this Hierophant says they are awakening in the most brutal way. The Lover's card in the reverse, they chose wrong. They... And we got Big Ben here. I don't know if somebody is British or somebody's been to London, or if this just represents like this massive timepiece where it's like, I literally, at the time, I didn't know that I was already with my divine partner, which was Aries. Then I walk away from Aries and it is so obvious. I mean, I know this is going to sound like we're laying it on thick, but I don't think that because I'm hearing that song, I know I'll never love that way again. I can't think who sings that. It's an 80s-ish, late 80s song. I'm hearing a female voice sing it. Aries was the one for them. And their higher self is brilliantly aware of it right now, blindingly aware of it. And the very person they're most supposed to be with is the very person they botched things with so badly, it's like they can't go back to Aries. That's the way this looks at the moment. But let's go over and take a look at Aries. First off, how does Aries think of this person or view this person? World card. Oh, they're coming back around. Magician. They are somebody who, I don't know if this is, we have this fertility goddess here. I don't know if Aries is like, oh, they tend to have new beginnings. And then they tend to, it's a butterfly flies back around. I don't know if this is somebody who had a problem with consistency, or if because sometimes the magician can be somebody who tricks themselves. But the way Aries looks at this is, this has obviously been an important person in Aries' life. They could have changed Aries' life. They could have actually even propelled Aries forward to like choosing to do things a little bit better as a whole. Sweet Carolina, so great to see you, babe. Empress Unicorn 111. Feels so nice to see you guys. Look at the 10 of Pentacles here. Okay. Everything here, especially with all these atoms being here, it's like, I think Aries breaks stuff down to the smallest particle and they say, well, I already know this person is going to come back around. I don't even see Aries like saying, oh man, they went off, they ended up with somebody else, I'm devastated, I'm hurt. If anything, with that infinity symbol and the fact that we have the butterfly flying around the globe and the fact that we have this, the atoms, the smallest building blocks, I almost think that Aries is like, oh, when I think of that person, I kind of know that we have this weird undulating, like they're never going to be fully out of my life. In this lifetime or the next, I'll hear from them again. It feels almost like Aries says, I can't help it. There's some unconditional connection here. And we have to go out and we learn lessons and then we cycle back around to each other. Aries feels very like they are not latched on to this person. They are simply accepting. It's not about me latching on or letting go. It's that this person and I have this weird undulating like relationship where we part ways, we go off and we live our lives. But then somehow I already know I'll hear from them again. It's just what it is. I don't have an explanation. It's just, it is how it is. I know that eventually they'll come back home to me. They're off living some other lifestyle, doing the other things that they must need to learn in this lifetime. Oh well, that's how that goes. This is very different because it doesn't feel like Aries is mad at all. Again, with the Six of Pentacles and all these clocks, Aries is like, it's divine timing. Yeah, we broke up. Yeah, they went off and they married somebody else. You know what? Not to be arrogant, but it ain't going to work and they're going to be back in my life again. I'm sorry, but I know what I know. This is not Aries laying claim to this person and saying, they're mine and they're with a karmic and they have to break up with that person and come back to me. This is Aries just being like, oh, it's inevitable. I already know. We got some weird thing that they come back into my life. I don't know how I know. I just shrug and I just go, that's how it is. This Aries feels like the coolest, most boss individual because they flow with the universe, particularly when it comes to this relationship. Two of Pentacles. Aries also might be saying, yes, I mean, when we parted ways, I've gone off and lived my life. I married somebody else. I had a home, a big fancy house with somebody else. But sometimes even that, you realize this is where I need to be for now. But I also know somewhere up ahead in my future, I already know where my road is taking me. I'm going to end up with them again. This could be one of those relationships where two people are together, when they're like in their 20s, then they break up. They go in totally separate directions. They both get married to other people. But it's like, yeah, but by the time we're in our 60s, for some reason, after we've raised kids, had mansions, had fortunes, won and lost, somehow the yellow brick road is still going to lead me onward in my life. And I already know you're still somebody that I'll probably cohabitate with at some point in my life. Maybe not till later, but that's how it is. Why even fight it? Why fight when I know what I know? That is kind of a remarkable twist on this because it's not like Aries is saying, I'm waiting for the day to have them. It's not like Aries is saying that they even want this. They're just saying it's inevitable. I know this person is still a part of my destiny or my future somehow. Universe, do you want to weigh in on this? Because they seem to be having quite the problem in this. Annie is, you sweetheart. I'll see you next in the Gemini video, babe. We got the Magician in the reverse. The universe comes in and says, well, there are lies that we tell ourselves. There are things that we trick ourselves on. There are things that we sometimes, claim is not real. But it doesn't look like that's how Aries operates. We have an Aries who's both grounded and also moving forward. Nothing slows Aries down. If anything, I almost think we have Ace of Wands, Three of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Wands sideways. If anything, I would kind of say that the universe says every character gets what they actually want in life, as long as they don't lie to themselves about what they want. It's not the universe making it happen, though. The universe is like, don't say that it's me doing this. It's you all. You mortals do the things that you want to do. You mortals are the ones who drive your own life forward. So what your desires are, if you want to see a person again, you will subtly make changes, or you will subtly take steps that will end you up where you wish to be. But just know it's y'all doing it. And the best way to end up where you actually want to be is to acknowledge fact from fiction and say, I don't worry about lying to myself. I already know where home is. Again, this is in the later years when our character is in their 70s or 80s or 90s or 110. This is still, Aries is like, I know that they're still a part of my world, always will be, and at some point we'll cohabitate. There is something about Aries is going to live with this person again. They keep thinking it's later on in life. This indicates we might be speeding things up a bit because that other lifestyle or marriage that this character chose has already gone belly up. Their relationship with that Queen of Swords is already a shit show, for lack of a better way to say it. Three of Swords, they're heartbroken. Three of Wands, they're already looking to the future. And the Seven of Pentacles. Everything here keeps saying we have a character that they're super bummed that they didn't just stay with Aries in the first place. They are devastated that they went this other route. They've wasted time that they could have been building with Aries. The only thing is Aries doesn't feel that way. Aries is like, you got to go off and do the things that you got to do in life. But for this person, they seem to be in a very unpleasant energy. And it's almost like, I would have to say this seems like one of those stories where Aries and this person have a soulmate, profound friendship as much as any kind of lover's vibe. Almost like I love them as like a family member and somebody I'm never going to be able to shake free of, so I don't even try. I already know that they're still a part of my future. This could be, Aries and this person are like the unlikely duo where we were together, then we were apart, then in our older age, I moved my ex. Yeah, we dated when we were in our 20s. Now we're in our 60s, but I moved him or her into my house because they, whatever, they had a knee or a hip replacement. And you know what? We were old lovers a long time ago. And honestly, we still care about each other. So if they need something, they're in a sense divorced. They needed somebody to help them out. So of course they can come live with me. We have old history together. It feels like that's what this vibe is. The only thing is, I think Aries keeps thinking this doesn't happen till later. And I think that this is about to get accelerated because they're thinking every day for at least 7 days straight. Why did I blow things up with Aries? I should have been with Aries. Why did I end up with a karmic? Why, oh, why, oh, why? High Priestess, they already know also that this was somehow the way it had to go. The Aries and this person had to go different directions, go around and then come back. That's what that world card was with the fertility goddess, coming around the mountain again. Of course, this relationship needed to come back together at a later time. Well, I have to say though, Aries keeps thinking it's going to be years from now, maybe 20 years from now, 40 years from now. This card says, I think it's happening now. I think this person's about to reach out to Aries. They're certainly meditating on it, and it kind of feels so clear to them. I was always going to have a heartbreak with someone other than Aries and then come back to Aries because they're the person that is really like a divine counterpart to me. 8 of Pentacles. They are doing a couple things to think deeply about this, maybe acknowledge the incredible resonance that this relationship has. And then the World card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a timeline and say this is 2026, possibly the very beginning of 2026 when this person shows back up in Aries world. And I have to say, Aries is not expecting this for a long time, but I think this is at the beginning of 2026. Come on, we got the World card twice. I look at that as the beginning of a new year. They are sprucing some stuff up. They are coming to terms with the fact that Aries is like the one that they were always connected to. Even if they married somebody else for a period of time, they've never been more connected to anyone than they are to Aries. And that connection to Aries remained even during some other chapter of life, kind of like the way Aries says, no matter what else happens, I'm still connected to them. It is what it is, and we'll live together again. I don't know how I know. I just know, so there's no point in fighting it. This is not an ugly story or well, how come these lovers aren't totally committed to each other and just monogamous and only together? This feels like I said, it's more two people who dated at one point in life. Maybe they weren't ready for each other. Maybe they were younger. They go separate directions. They both have other life experiences, but you know what? It seems so obvious now. We were always going to come back together. I feel 2026 is reunion time for these guys. Fees, Mystic Faith, Courtney Welsh. So good to see you guys. All right, you guys. Lots of love. Moon Pony, Sweet Carolina, Empress Unicorn, and Annie S. Thanks so much. All right, I'll see you guys next in Gemini. Bye.